everyone, welcome back to our channel. I'm here with Finley and Scarlett, who are hanging out right behind me. Oh, good yawn! So today I'm going to be teaching you guys a foolproof Leave It cue, and this is going to be part one of a two-part series, so you guys can help teach your dogs a really important cue. Leave It is all about impulse control, so we're going to be teaching our dogs to ignore everything their brain is telling them to do and instead focus on us. We're going to start teaching this cue by asking our dogs to ignore food. But then we're going to move on to generalize the cue to other items like toys, other dogs, dead squirrels on the road, literally anything. So here's what you're going to need for this one. You're going to need some kind of a low value food, like the kibble that they eat every day or whatever kind of food it is they eat every day, or just a treat that they're not super interested in. Then you're going to need something higher value, like freeze-dried liver or cheese or chicken breast or some kind of a real meat, something that they don't get all the time that they really like. You're also going to need a clicker or a conditioned reinforcer, like a marker word or phrase like yes or good boy, good girl, something like that. You're also going to need some toys or some other items that you can ask your dog to ignore as well. Okay, let's get started. So you're going to start with your dog sitting in front of you. Put their kibble or whatever kind of low value food you're using in your hand and let your dog lick at it. Then you're going to close your hand around the food into a fist and wait for your dog to leave it alone. They're probably going to lick at your hand, they might mouth at it or paw at it, but whatever you do, don't move your hand away. You're going to want to keep your hand there because eventually they'll learn that whatever it is they're doing isn't working and they'll give up. That's exactly what we're looking for. So when your dog disengages with your hand, ask them for some eye contact first. You can point up at your nose, snap up by your face, call their name, make a kissy noise. Works with these guys. That's what you're looking for, that eye contact. Then you're gonna mark and reward with the higher value food. Now, a couple of things. First off, we're gonna reward in this way so that our dog learns that they don't get the thing that we're asking them to ignore. This is the way that I prefer to train this cue because I always think of it like if I drop medication on the ground or I find something outside that would be dangerous for them to get, when I tell them leave it, I don't want them to learn that they ignore it for a couple seconds and then they can go after it. I want them to learn that leave it means ignore that, turn around and look at me. Secondly, asking for that eye contact is super important because it gives our dogs an alternate behavior that they can do. So instead of just asking them not to do something, we're asking them to do something. Does that make sense? That's actually an easier way for our dogs to understand. So it works to their advantage because instead of asking them, hey, don't do that, we're asking them, do this instead. That's a really easy way to solve any kind of a problem behavior also. So by asking them to ignore something and look at me instead, this is gonna help our dogs once we start asking them to ignore more enticing stimuli, like barking dogs or a dead squirrel in the road, out in more distracting environments. So keep repeating this exercise until you can offer your closed fist to the dog and they don't go after the food that's inside of it. Your closed fist is going to become a visual cue for your dog that they need to disengage immediately, which is very important for the next step. Once your dog is leaving your closed fist alone, offer them the low value food in an open palm. If your dog approaches the food, simply close your hand into a fist. Remember, the fist has become a cue for a dog to back off, and they're likely going to do so very quickly, and when they do, again, ask for a little bit of eye contact, and then mark and reward. If they offer you eye contact voluntarily, jackpot them by giving them 3 or 4 small treats right in a row. This will stand out to our dogs in their brains and they'll remember, ooh, last time I did that, I got a bunch of treats. I should probably try that again. When you can offer your dog food in an open palm without them approaching it, then you can start pairing a verbal cue, such as leave it or ignore or whatever word or phrase you want to use. Give the cue before you offer the food in an open palm. Repeat this a few times so your dog starts to associate the verbal cue with the behavior of ignoring something and looking at you. If your dog is doing really well with that, start challenging them by offering the food in ways that would be easier for them to grab. For example, you can place the lower value food on the floor in front of them. Start placing it farther away from them and slowly place it closer and closer. If they're doing really, really good, try placing the food on their paws and asking them to ignore it there. Oh, leave it. Yes, good job. But pay attention, you don't want to devalue the cue by your dog stealing the food before you can get to it. So be sure when you're starting this step, place the food closer to you and farther away from them. So that way if they do go to snatch it, you can grab it from them and they won't have the opportunity to ignore the cue and get to the food. And as always with anything we're ever going to teach our dogs, don't press them for too much too quickly. This will only lead to failure, and we always want to set our dogs up for success. That way, they learn much, much faster and it's much easier on us. And remember to always ask for that eye contact before you mark and reward when you're teaching this cue. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure, washing? I just said washing. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe and click that little notification bell down there so you can catch part 2 as soon as it comes out. And of course, you can follow us on Instagram if you aren't already. If you do follow us on Instagram, leave us a little comment saying that you came from YouTube. We'd love to follow you guys back. And we'll see you later. Happy training!